Good morning, Raptor Freaks. Lexi out here Saturday morning, and on Saturdays we do the Share the Love Club. And today we're sharing the love for Raptors alumni, whose happens to be his birthday also, Jerome Williams. That's right. May the 10th is Jerome's birthday, and he is, as of today, I believe he is 52 today. So happy 52nd birthday to the Junkyard Dog. We had to make sure we got enough of the rough from the JYD, baby. That's right. I want to try and put him on blast here. So let me he's going to hang out on the stream in front of me, I think, if I can get him to sit in the camera. Let's see if you guys can see him now. That doesn't work. No, we don't want to do that. I don't know. We'll just put him back here. You can see him right there. That's the JYD right there next to me, and Charles Oakley over there too. So yeah, JYD has been around the team a lot lately. He's been in Toronto this week. He had a meeting with Scotiabank, an event a couple days ago where he came in as a speaker for Scotiabank employees, I guess. He was a motivational speaker, and he came in to speak to them about being a role player. And that's what JYD is all about right now. As he was as a player, he was a role player in the NBA. Well, R.O.L.E player, he's written a book, and this book is for sale. They have it for sale at the NBA restaurant, which we'll be going to at the beginning of June for Monique's birthday. And it's a really interesting book. It's a book about, like, I'll use Jerome's own words on this because this is very important idea what he's talking about. Former 10-year NBA veteran and fan favorite during his playing days. He's released a book called Role Player, Passing on the Wisdom. In it, he shares life lessons and strategies for success, encouraging readers to maximize their opportunities in life by embracing what he calls the junkyard dog mentality. That's right. That sounds awesome. It's about taking on that role player mentality every day. Just like people talk about the Mamba mentality, I've got the JYD mentality, and it's all about energy generating behaviors. Be a relentless opportunist and leveraging everything you know to push forward. And that's where the R.O.L.E comes from. Relentless opportunist, leveraging everything you know to push forward. That's an awesome concept. You know, in some ways, we don't all have to be the main character. We don't all need to be the number one. We don't all need to be the franchise player. We need role players out there that are doing roles that are helping out, and they are integral parts of the systems and things that go on. And in some ways, it's okay to have that kind of mentality that JYD is saying right there. So I like that he's kind of, his career's kind of shifted from being a player to being a community ambassador for the Raptors almost right away after he retired. He came back to Toronto and he was our community ambassador. And then he's done coaching. He's done all kinds of different stuff. And well, JYD is now an author, and his book coming out this year has been fantastic. In fact, I intend to get a copy of it myself as soon as possible. In fact, if I don't have one by the time I get to Monique's birthday party at the NBA restaurant, I'm buying one down there. Whether it is one with his autograph in it, which if they still have those at that time, I will be very delighted to get an autographed role player book by the JYD. If not, I'll just buy the copy without the autograph because I want to get the book either way. So yeah, there's another reason to come down to Monique Lawrence's birthday party at the NBA restaurant on June the 7th. We've got a set time for the reservation now, guys. She has set the time more in the evening than I thought. It's going to be 5:30 reservation till 8:30. So 3 hours of birthday fun down at the NBA restaurant on Saturday, June the 7th. I hope as many people as possible can come down there from the Rapid Freak channel. And even if you're not a regular contributor, like in the chat, but you just want to come and hang out with me or the super fan, everybody's welcome. You don't have to be a regular Raptor Freak in the chat that's always around and talking. You could be a lurker. You could be somebody who just kind of watches the show but doesn't ever like comment or anything. Just come down and say, yeah, I watched the Raptor Freak channel, and I wanted to just come say hi and talk to you guys for a sec and say hello to Monique and wish her a happy birthday. So yeah, y'all, June the 7th, NBA restaurant, 5:30 p.m. in the afternoon is the designated reservation time. And I hope more people come down there. That's right. It'd be cool if JYD came. You know, I've got JYD's autograph on a few things already. He's so kind. He signed autographed one of his jerseys for me. So I have a signed autographed JYD jersey. In fact, I should go get it and put it on real quick. Hang on just a second. There we go. That's right. Now we write. Now we write. That's right. Yeah, and see the jersey is signed right here. Right here is signed JYD number 13. Woo! Let's go, JYD. That's right. So yeah, I got JYD to also sign a Toronto Raptors program for me once. So I have a Raptors program with his signature on it too. But it'd be nice to get his book signed, a signed copy of that book too. That'd be awesome. So yeah, that's the story with JYD. Of course, we know the story about JYD. He got traded to the Raptors from the Detroit Pistons, and he basically jumped in his truck and drove immediately to Toronto from Detroit, like very enthusiastically wanted to come to our team. It was awesome. You know, he really has been one of the most loyal and participating alumni in Raptors history. And like, you know, it wasn't because of the championship. It wasn't because of success. He did it because he had a passion for the city of Toronto and the Raptors. And I've always loved him for it. If you want to see a role model, not just for his book and his idea of a role player, it's also about how he handled his alumni status with the Raptors. So I would say all young Raptors and people that are alumni Raptors right now, you can look at what Jerome Williams has done with his interacting with the Raptors franchise and how successful he's leveraged things to get more possibilities, just like what he talks about in his book, Role Player. Because honestly, you know, you may be sitting and missing opportunities, Chris Bosh, is what I'm saying right now. Chris Bosh, you probably missed out on a whole ton of opportunities. Seriously, Chris Bosh, you're like the opposite of Jerome Williams as far as embracing Raptors alumni and taking advantage of it. You're the opposite of it. JYD has taken advantage of it to the point where the JYD's got a mascot version of him. That's right. You know, you're a good alumni when they made a mascot of you and they run around in the arena still years and years after you played. Muggsy Bogues, Jose Calderon, Matt Bonner, Morris Peterson, Jerome Williams. These guys are the guys who have like mascot versions of them in the arena, and the Raptors will bring them out every once in a while. You see the JYD number 13 mascot run around there. Of course, JYD, I don't think there's a season since Jerome stopped playing for the Raptors that he has not visited Toronto and come back and done some sort of event or been around the team in some sort of way and function. That's what I'm saying. He's the prototype of how you alumni for a team. And the crazy thing is, he doesn't turn his back on New York Nation or Chicago Nation either, two other teams he played for. He will go and interact with those nations and do things with them too. But in some ways, it really does seem like Jerome has an extra special relationship with the Raptors. That it seems like just the premium and the most out publicly he is as a Raptor. And I love that. I love that so much. Of course, JYD is very, very known for his hustle, his going out of bounds to save the ball, his tenacity, his toughness, his run around. He had his best season as a player in 2002, 2003 for the Raptors when he started 63 games and he averaged just under 10 points a game. And that was probably a glorious year for him. Of course, we were around in the playoffs at that time, and he was playing next to Vince Carter and Morris Peterson and a fantastic team with Antonio Davis and other people like that. So, yeah, JYD is always going to be a real one for Toronto and will be a real one for him. You know, in some ways, it's like yesterday when I announced that we're going to do a Share the Love Club for Jerome Williams. Y'all started barking in the chat because that's just how it is with him. You know, because we know that this guy is all about the dog pound. And all of us are dog pound members for the JYD. And I want to say happy birthday to you, Jerome. Happy 52nd birthday. We're sharing the love for you in this 30th anniversary alumni season. I've shared the love for a couple of former Raptors like Damon Stoudemire, Jose Calderon, Andrea Bargnani, different people have gotten Share the Love clubs this year. And Jerome, it's yours this one. That's right. We got Boogie once. We did Boogie Williams before. You know, I'm gonna do Vince Carter at some point, guys. I never thought I was gonna do a Share the Love club for Vince Carter. If a year ago I would not have said that, but I will do a Share the Love club for Vince Carter. He's gonna deserve one now after this year. I don't know exactly when it'll happen, but we got JYD on his birthday today, May the 10th. Happy birthday, Jerome. I hope your day is fantastic. I hope your book sales are going great. And we can't wait to see you up here in Toronto over and over again as often as possible. And thanks for coming in and doing a speech for Scotiabank and their event this week. So, yeah, there's my spiel on the Share the Love Club for Jerome. And if any of you guys have any memories or comments that you want to make about the JYD, you go ahead and share the love for Jerome Williams on the Share the Love Club. Happy birthday, JYD. You're the epitome of the gold standard of a Raptors alumni. You have always been there for us. And you know what? I hope we've always been there for you. That's what I would say to that. That's right. Let's go, JYD. All right, let's get into the chat and all the other normal stuff we do on the channel. Trevor J is here, of course, first, the Commissioner of Fun. Trevor J, thank you, sir, for so many different reasons. Let's see. Be grateful for everything and people you have in your life. Things you take for granted, someone else is praying for. Man, I don't even want to think about the state of the world affairs, but this is true. And, you know, listen, you know, humans need basic things, and that should be covered for everybody, I think. I personally think that. Some people don't think that, obviously. So the powers that be in the United States don't think that people should have shelter, clothing, or food, or the ability to earn a living, or ability to have a family, or the ability to do a lot of different things. They don't. They want to cinch up on them economically and make it even harder. You know, at some point, you know, some people may be like enjoying extravagance and all kinds of extra stuff, but at some point things could change, and all of a sudden, now you've got to really just survive on what it takes to survive. That's the craziness. We could go into an economic calamity more and more in the next couple of years, and more people will fall into an abyss of financial ruin. And I don't think people totally understand that that's what is so dangerous about what Trump is doing right now, is that a lot of more people are going to fall in below the poverty line. And that is fucked up. People are going to lose their houses. People are going to lose things like, you know, there's all kinds of things. So be grateful for what you've got and fight to keep it. Another thing I would say is rights are being eroded in the United States right now. It's much better to hold the line and fight against it than to lose those rights, because to claw back those rights over the years takes a long, long time. You can ask the civil rights fighters that did it in the 50s and 60s to get the traction that they got. Well, Trump's going and repealing a lot of the stuff that they fought for almost 100 years ago. And now it's like, what are we doing? We're rolling things back to be like where we were in the 40s? No, that wasn't a better world. That was not a better world. And in some ways, people got to keep track of what is being destroyed by this president right now. And we need to restore it as soon as his criminal ass is out and in trouble. Seriously, we need to realize exactly all that we had before Elon came in and gutted the U.S. government. And some of it needs to be put back in immediately, as soon as these criminals are out of power. And hopefully that'll be before the 4 years are up. Because in some ways, I can predict this. It's either going to go one or two ways. We all just cower to him and let him become this all supreme dictator that he wants to be, or we rise up and kick his motherfucking ass out of office. So there's only two ways to do this. Either we live on our knees and we live in a dystopian society where there's King Donald for life, and they're really, really wanting to make this a state where the police are used on everybody, and it's a really terrible scene that I can vision coming up in the years to come. So it's either we take a stand now and fight his ass, or we just bend over and let him do whatever he wants, and we just cower and just become cowards and just let him run roughshod over democracy and freedom. That's really what the choice is going to be here. Either you're going to go and be a stormtrooper for him, a cold, heartless, racist ass, white supremacist who's going to enforce his regime, or you're going to fight against it and say, this is not right. I know what this world is supposed to be, and this is not it. So that's a couple of different things right there. Anyway, that's my tangent from Trevor's words of wisdom right there. Let's be grateful for what we've got, and let's fight to keep it. How about that? How about that? Trevor J saying OKC lose the bottle in the overtime to Nuggets. Lose the bottle? Lose the battle. Lose the bottle. When they drink it during the game, they need to lose the bottle, Keon Clark. That's what I say on this, on the birthday of Jerome Williams, bringing up his teammate Keon. It's like, yeah, he needs to lose the bottle. If they're using the bottle during the game, they need to lose it. Seriously, yeah. To Nuggets, and Indiana lost to Cleveland. Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. It was an overtime game. And in some ways, Denver, once again, there's some experience factor with Denver and Warriors that is a little bit a weird thing in the matchups against the Thunder and the Timberwolves. That that there is an experience, an older team, but maybe not as talented or good, but there's a savviness to Jokic, a savviness to Draymond and Steph. I mean, I don't know how these series will go. I know it's much more appealing for the NBA to have the Warriors move on than the Timberwolves. So we have to watch that. And then, the Nuggets thing is weird. I mean, I think that they would be happier if the Thunder won that series, because SGA is a burgeoning, star of this league. And in some ways they could build off of that with this. So I don't know. I mean, if I was SGA, I would be like, yeah, I need to beat the hell out of Nikola and make sure we beat them, because this is partly the MVP race right now. This is like a head-to-head matchup with the top two candidates for MVP. And in some ways, I don't know if they'll determine it by who wins this series, but they may announce it before it's done. Then that may have a factor in what happens with something. Like, if they decide they're going to give it to Nikola again, I would hate to be the Nuggets after that. If SGA is pissed off and he goes off on them with revenge. We saw a revenge game in game 2 in that route. So, man, it's gonna be an interesting series. The rest of it, I'm not worried for the Thunder. I still think they'll win this series, even though they're down 2-1. It's just that the experience of the Nuggets and the Warriors is very much a factor in helping these teams get wins in their series right now. It really, really is. The Indiana Pacers losing their first game in Cleveland. Well, the Cleveland Cavaliers absolutely had their back up against the wall, down 0-2 and really in a bad place. And they had to, it's now or never kind of thing. They lost the game to Indiana last night. It's down 0-3 and they're done. They're cooked. They're pretty much done if that happens. So they really did need to win this game last night. Cleveland got it done. In other news, hockey, the Leafs lost in game 3 in overtime to the Panthers. That's too bad. But the Jets won against the Dallas in their second game of their series to even up the series with the Jets and Dallas Stars 1-1. So a little bit of checking in on the Canadian teams in the playoffs. And I know Edmonton's playing Vegas too. And I think that they've been winning their series also. So, yeah, man, it is what it is. We didn't need to expect Cleveland to just roll over and get swept. No, that wasn't going to happen. We knew that. They did have their guys come back last night. They were fully there. And that did matter. It was much better for them to have like their full complement of guys involved. And Mobley, even if he's a little bit hurt, it's helpful to have Evan Mobley out there for Cleveland. That's for sure. Very, very helpful. Trevor's saying WNBA ticket sales exploded 145% ahead of 2025 season to last season. That's fantastic. I'm telling you, it's growing. It's getting bigger. All the naysayers, everybody who says this is a bullshit league, it's like subsidized by the NBA. Y'all are wrong. It's coming up, and it's coming to make its own place and space and throw its own weight around for itself in the business. And more power to the WNBA and the women that play in it. And man, I'm excited about it. I can't wait for Toronto Tempo. I can't wait. Let's get to the Toronto Tempo. I'm all about it, man. Trevor's saying that Knicks and the Celtics game today at 3:30. Tickets for the game today. The cheapest ticket is $831. Courtside seats $54,000. The most expensive game ticket. That's Madison Square Garden. That's New York inflation. That's the hype of it. That's also the Knicks getting this far in the playoffs and being up in the series. That's a hot ticket. These New York fans want to come and revel in success. It's not something they're used to. And in some ways, they're going to pay a lot of money to be there when it feels good to be a New York Knicks winner. That's not an often feeling. Let's just put it that way. So they're going to pay a lot of money for that. They're going to pay a lot of money for that experience because they ain't felt it really a lot in the last 25 years. No, they have not. No, they have not. James is asking me, good morning to you, James. Lex, make a prediction. Are we landing the 7th pick or moving up on Monday? Now, we've seen a graphic posted with the draft odds. And let me see. I'm going to go get it from the chat because I've seen it. And it's interesting. You know, we don't have any % chance of getting certain draft position that has to do with where are the spots? The spots are, yeah, we can't get the 5th or the 6th pick because it's the kind of thing where to jump up in the lottery, you jump up into the top 4. And then everything kind of like goes back behind that. So we can't get the 5th or 6th pick. There's 0% chance of that. So where's my link here? So with that in mind, I added up the percentages for the top 4 picks that we could get. And it's like almost 32% chance we get a top 4 pick, guys. So if you think about that, we have a third chance, 1 in 3 chance of being in the top 4 in the draft. Now there's an almost 20% chance we get the 7th pick. So if you add the 20 plus the 32, that means there's a 52% chance that we will get 7th pick or better. And that means either the 7th pick or top 4 picks, not the 5th or the 6th pick. So that's pretty good. We have a better than half chance that we will pick 7 or higher. Then 8th pick, that's the highest percentage we have to get that pick, and that would be 34%. So if you add that on top of the 52, well, that's 86% chance we're going to get to pick 8 or higher. So think about it that way. 86% chance we will pick either 8 or higher. So that's pretty good. I mean, you know, I don't know if I'd like to be in the top 4. I'm okay with getting the 7th pick. But if we get the 4th pick, that's not a huge deal. That's not a bad thing. I guess it's not a bad thing if we get either the top 4 picks, any of them. So that's kind of how you break down the percentages. So really, there's only about a 14% chance that we end up with a 9th or 10th pick. So it's really, really looking like it'll be, you know, for sure an 8th pick or better. If not a 7th pick, if not a top 4 pick, a third of our chances for that. So kind of breaking down the chances on that. So I don't know. I mean, I could make a prediction and say something, James, but it's really about the luck. It's about the luck. And the way they do it is I think they do the first pick first. Like they have all the ping pong balls in there and they roll all around and we got a certain amount of them and they draw the first ball. And whatever the first ball is the first pick in the draft. And last year it was Atlanta. And they didn't have that many ping pong balls in that lottery draft machine. So that we'll have to see what comes out for the first pick. If it's not us, well, we got a chance for the 2nd pick, the 3rd pick, and then the 4th. And then it kind of goes into, all right, whoever didn't get their pick goes to 5th and 6th. So that's kind of how it all lays out. Man, I can't really do odds on this. This is purely luck. This is purely luck. We can look at the statistics of the percentage possibilities and speculate from that. But I mean, really, I just told you it's a 34% chance we get a top 4 pick, something like 32% chance we get a top 4 pick. And then you add another 19 on there, it's over 50% chance we'll get 7 or higher. So that's a pretty good odds, honestly. You know, the worst we could do, if we got the 10th or the 9th pick, that's a fail. If we get the 8th pick, that's not a fail either, honestly, to me. That's not a fail if we get the 8th pick, because that's kind of the average where it seems like we're likely to pick possibly is 8th. So it's going to either be a top 4 pick, a 7th pick, or an 8th pick. That's basically it right there. Kaz saying, good morning, Lex from Rapid Free Crew. Good morning to you, Trucker Kaz. Always good to see you. Straight goods on Canadian goods. We're going to go with the classic restaurant today. And this restaurant's been in trouble since the pandemic, guys. So this is a company that we should support and try and help out because they've had to close restaurants since the pandemic. In fact, one of their restaurants that was down at Yonge and Dundas Square underneath the atrium at the Bay closed down. It was an iconic restaurant. And then that is the Pickle Barrel. Yeah, we're doing the Pickle Barrel today, y'all. The Pickle Barrel is a restaurant that started on Leslie Street in Toronto in 1971, guys. That's right. They had their first restaurant, an 85-seat deli on Leslie Street. And man, they've had mostly the restaurants for the Pickle Barrel are spread across the greater Toronto area. And yeah, they've had some tough times in recent years because in some ways, you know, the Pickle Barrel had has a crazy menu where they have like 300 items on their menu. Like their menu is like a book. You got to open it up and you get, you know, whenever I went to the Pickle Barrel, and I'd love to go to the Pickle Barrel, I'll probably go to it again very soon. I like to I look through the menu and there's always like 5 things I want. It's so hard to choose what you want to eat at Pickle Barrel. I know y'all know what I'm talking about if y'all have eaten there. Seriously. So yeah, Pickle Barrel's is 54 years old. 1971 is when it started. And they're owned by the Cara Company at this point, which is a Recipe Unlimited or whatever. So they're in the group with a lot of those other restaurants like Kelsey's, Montana Barbecue, Eastside Mario's, New York Fries, Harvey's, Swiss Chalet, The Keg. They're all under the same company food group, Pickle Barrel there too. So yeah, they've been closing down Pickle Barrel locations because of the pandemic and like lower business. So go support a Pickle Barrel if you have one near you, because in some ways they've lost more locations than they've opened new ones. And you know, I have fond memories of eating at Pickle Barrel for a long, long time, my whole life. And you know, I know some of y'all like the Pickle Barrel too. They got some great sandwiches and all kinds of great stuff on their menu. So I say, do the straight goods on Canadian goods. Well, Pickle Barrel. Let's go. Seriously, let's go to Pickle Barrel. Let's go. It's good, man. I like Pickle Barrel. It's good, man. G-San, I think it's Battle's birthday as well. Happy birthday to JYD and Battle. Is Jameson Battle's birthday today? Why is this slipped under the cracks? Because honestly, Jameson, yeah, it is Battle's birthday. He's not on my birthday list. There's other guys on it, though. Why is he not on here? I guess I just didn't catch that rookie. I better make sure that I have our rookies on here, like Jamal Shed and Jacoby and Shamshay. I'm pretty sure I have Shamshay on here. But why isn't Jameson on here? That's weird. All right, we're going to put Battle on now. He's not the only birthday today, but it's good that you caught this and told me this. So Jameson's 24 years old as of today, born in 2001. So yeah, let me add him to this birthday spreadsheet because I don't want to make sure that I don't miss it. In some ways, his birthday is way more important than the other 2 birthdays today. In fact, happy birthday, Malachi Flynn, guys. That's right. It's Malachi Flynn's birthday today. He's 27 today. So happy birthday, Mally, Red Van Vliet. That's right. Austin Spur, G League first team, all-star. Yeah, Malachi Flynn's birthday today. And also, guys, Nick Nurse's favorite, Jeff Doughton Jr. Jeff Doughton Jr. today is 27. No, wait, 28. 28 today. 28 years old today, Jeff Doughton Jr. So, yeah, those are the birthdays today. We got Jerome, Jameson, Jeff, and Malachi. 4 birthdays for Raptors alumni today. But we were all about the JYD today. Happy birthday, JYD. Happy birthday, Jameson Battle, sharpshooter rookie for the Raptors this year. And happy birthday to Jeff Doughton Jr., Raptor legend. And also Malachi Flynn, one of Masai's busts. So, yeah, this is the birthdays today. We got some good birthdays today. Man, I'm glad you told me about that, G. I'm really worried that I'm not keeping track of where these guys' birthdays are from the new guys. So let me go look at Jamal. I want to make sure I've got Jamal Shed on there because I need to make sure he's on here. July, his birthday is July the 24th. Okay, let me just make sure he's on here because I don't want to overlook this. Yeah, he's on here already. So we got Jamal, and I'm pretty sure Jacoby's on here too. Maybe I should check Mobo. Mobo's on here, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure I put Mobo on here. I don't know why I didn't do Jameson. That's so weird that I overlooked Jameson. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Jonathan Mobo's on here. Yeah, so Jameson's the only one. Even Shamshay's on here. So, man, that's bad. You shouldn't have left out Jameson Battle. You got him now, though. That's right. We said happy birthday to Jameson on his birthday. We're good. We're good. James is saying if the Celtics don't win today, Knicks got it. Yeah. Yeah, because in some ways that's historically true that any team that goes down 0-3 has never won a series, I don't think. No team has ever won 4 in a row to win a series after losing the first 3. So, yeah, that's part of the reason why the Cavs had to win last night for sure. because if they don't beat the Pacers in Indiana last night, well, there's no history that shows that they're going to be able to come back 4 straight and do that. Nope, no history. That's part of the reason why the Raptors in the Eastern Conference Finals in 2019 had to make sure they beat Milwaukee in the next 3 games after they lost to them the first 2 in that series. So yeah, that worked out well. That's proof that if you lose the first 2 games of the series, you can still come back and win. The Raptors against the Bucks in the Eastern Conference Finals. Yeah, right there. Let's look at the refs for today's games. We got 2 games today. There's an afternoon game, Boston at New York, and Zach Zarba is the crew chief. Now, I'm going to tell you guys something about the crew for this Boston-New York game today. All 3 of these guys heavily favor the Boston Celtics, and they do not like the Knicks. In fact, Zach Zarba is a referee that Knicks Nation hates, absolutely hates him. They hate him and Tony Brothers. And it's true. I mean, I looked at the stats for Zach Zarba with winning percentages, and the Boston Celtics are the 2nd highest winning percentage out of all the NBA teams for him. And meanwhile, the Knicks have like the 3rd worst winning percentage for Zach Zarba. So Zach Zarba completely, very much favors the Boston Celtics statistically in their history of refereeing. Now, that's the same for all 3 refs, guys. All 3 refs in this game heavily favor Boston over New York, just so y'all know. So it does look like the NBA is trying to help out the Celtics a little bit today in New York City in enemy territory. So yeah, the 3 refs are Zach Zarba, Courtney Kirkland, who favors the Celtics, and Justin Van Dyne, the former cop from LA. He also heavily favors the Celtics over the Knicks. So it's a very bad crew for Knicks fans today. I'm going to tell them right now. We'll have to see if there's some shenanigans, because it may very well be Adam Silver and the refs are trying to help the Celtics stay in this series, because if they lose today, your guys are exactly right. They lose today, they're done, James. You're right. Ed Malloy and Nick Bookert are in the replay center for today. And, well, Scott Foster's back for his 2nd game in the late game, Minnesota at Golden State. That game will be the crew chief, will be Scott Foster. Now, he favors the Timberwolves, which is interesting. He has a better record with Minnesota than Golden State. And what did we talk about in the last day or so on this stream? Who has the winningest, most wins in the last 15 years of the NBA? Golden State Warriors. Scott Foster has been reffing for over 30 years. So he's been here the whole 15 years of excellence of Golden State. So why does Golden State have such a bad record with Scott Foster? Well, he doesn't have a proclivity to like them, I guess. And the Minnesota Timberwolves, which is a team that has had very bad teams over the last 15 years, very bad teams in the years of Scott Foster, has a better record than the Golden State Warriors. You got to think about that for a second. Seriously, think about that. Minnesota Timberwolves have a better winning record with Scott Foster over the last 30 years than the Golden State Warriors. That's a real red flag that Scott Foster is not a friend to Golden State. Let's just put it that way right there. The other 2 refs, however, favor the Warriors over the Timberwolves, and that's David Guthrie and Mitchell Irvin, Drake Lover. So there's a lot of favor for the Warriors in this game from the other 2 refs, but not with Scott Foster. Scott Foster could be maybe a little jerk to Draymond today. So we'll have to see how that goes. So there's the ref report for today. Heavy favor for the Celtics from that ref crew. I'm telling you right now, heavy favor from them. And that may be trouble for the Knicks fans in the Knicks arena in Madison Square Garden. They may be losing this one, guys. I'm telling you right now. They may be losing this one. That's right. G saying, I was able to watch a bunch of live games those years, and JYD was always smiling and amped up. He had such a good vibe. Yeah, that's part of what his message is. Bring that infectious, positive energy and bring the energy to things and infuse it into whatever you're doing and do it even better and do it with that kind of positive swagger. So, yeah, I love that, G. That's part of his book. In fact, that's probably one of his biggest tenements is like stay positive and stay smiling and stay, that kind of person, because you know what? That kind of energy brings more of that kind of energy to you. It's really true. You're going to be a sad sack. You're going to be an asshole. You're going to be pissy. Well, you're going to get more of that energy coming towards you. But if you're a smiling guy, a happy-go-lucky guy, a nice guy, a caring guy like JYD, You're going to get more of that kind of energy coming back to you. What you put out, you get back. And JYD has figured it out what the right kind of vibe is. That's right. Kaz is saying happy birthday to the JYD and Battle Time. That's right. Jameson Battle. Happy birthday. Maybe we should go see what is happening with Jameson Battle on his Instagram right now. We could do that. And let me, I see Fiercey's here. We're going to have to get ready to look at her at WNBA team, like I promised yesterday. But let's go look at the Instagram stories real quick. We got Leo Routens. He's got a couple of words of wisdom. I missed out on his words of wisdom yesterday, so we'll read them today. Leo's saying, build someone up, put their insecurities to sleep, remind them they're worthy, tell them they're incredible, be a light in a too often dim world. That's a great message. In some ways that's true. We need to be caring and more thinking about each other. And start with people that you really are your favorites and you love a lot. Make them feel really special and make them feel looked after and make them feel like they matter, all that kind of stuff. Validate them. And in some ways that's really nice thing to do. You're giving. It's a giving thing. It's not receiving. And you give that out, like I just said, you can get that energy back to you somehow, some way, just like what JYD says. You know what I'm saying? Also, Leo's saying this morning, kindness is not an act. It's a reflection of your soul. Yeah, I mean, you could do kind acts that come from your soul, but don't do it just to put on a performative show. You should be that person behind the scenes and in the dark when nobody sees you, maybe doing kind acts and nobody even knows it. In some ways, that people that are putting performative kind acts on, in some ways, it's like not totally altruistic, is it? No, it's not. In some ways, they're doing it for selfish reasons. So I think that's what Leo's saying here. Is that the kind act isn't necessarily kind in itself if you're doing it for your own selfish reasons. So just do it, do it as being a part of your soul, be it as part of yourself. There you go. Brandon Ingram's doing an Instagram ad last night. He came on all of a sudden. He did an ad for Barber Club. It's L'Oreal Paris men's expert. He's talking about moisturizer. He's talking about rubbing stuff on his face and into his beard and keeping himself nice and moisturized and not feeling oily. So yeah, if you want to buy the product Brandon is endorsing on his Instagram, you can go see it. It's L'Oreal Paris Barber Club, men's expert. That's what he is all the time. In the off-season mode, this is how he keeps his skin nice. Monique has been reposted by the superfan Mo has been reposted by Mo Pete. Mo Pete, of course, has a special connection with our superfan Monique Lawrence. And she posted a clip of him talking in the OVO commercial about like his mentality and who he is and coming up and how he had to change each level coming up and how he embraced being a Raptor and all that kind of stuff and loving Toronto. Well, Monique posted it and Mo Peterson saw it and he reposted it. So we got alumni Morris Peterson reposting our superfan on his Instagram yesterday, just so y'all know. That's superfan Mo getting posted by the real Mo Pete. That's pretty awesome. I know their connection is very strong and very close, and that's awesome. AJ Lawson's in Dallas, guys. I guess AJ went back to his old team's stomping grounds. Of course, he played for the Mavericks last year, and he was in the finals with the Mavericks against the Celtics last year. And so AJ's got some roots in Dallas. Of course, we know he's a hometown hero here on the Raptors, and I'm not worried about this. But it's nice to see AJ diversifying his workouts for the offseason. And he's hanging out down in Dallas, Texas right now. So that's where AJ Lawson is showing up on his Instagram. There he is putting his work with Coach Hart, 32 Hart. I'm not even sure. Is that former NBA player Hart? No, that's just a trainer named Coach Hart. There you go. Jonathan Mobo is putting on blast a guy named Donovan Draper. I'm not even sure who Donovan Draper is. He's top 10 in the Patriot League in offensive rebounding percentage, defensive rebounding percentage, and rebounding and steals and field free throw percentage. So that's Navy. This guy plays for Navy, Donovan Draper. I guess he's a personal friend of Jonathan Mobo's. So that's what's up there. He's Jonathan Mobo putting on blast a little short film that Jamal Shed had made. Jamal's had a little bit of the Pascal and Fred cameramen kind of following him. And Jamal Shed's had a couple little autobiographical vignettes that have been produced about his life and his journey from Houston to come and play for the Raptors this year in his rookie year. And he kind of put out a clip and edit yesterday, kind of a build of like excitement about like him and his Raptor career. And it's pretty cool. It's very high level professional stuff, just like Siakam stuff with PS 43 films. And Freddie's done stuff with the Parlay documentary and Open Gym stuff. That's what I'm saying. So Jamal Shedd's got a little clip that he put out, and Jonathan Mobo's reposted it. A couple of other Raptors reposted Jamal Shedd's little clip, which is pretty cool. There's a Mobo putting in more work with the Raptors workout shirt at San Francisco and Don's territory. But I think that Jonathan may be still out in San Francisco right now, but I'm not totally sure because there was a Jonathan Mobo sighting yesterday, and I'll talk about it in just a second. Savannah Hamilton loves the play flex. She went and saw it again last night or in the last couple of days, and she said it hit even harder the second time she came and saw the performance. She really, really loves this play flex that's about women's basketball. It's fantastic, I'm sure. In some ways, I want to go see it. I should go see it. I really should go see it. But yeah, that's playing at the Crows Theater, Obsidian Theater. So go check it out while you can. Flex, the great play that's going on here in Toronto. And they're going to have a panel that's going to talk about the show on May the 14th. So if you guys want to come down there, Savannah's going to be there as part of the panel. This panel looks pretty fire, guys. I'm not going to lie. They've got the GM of Toronto Tempo, Monica Wright-Rogers, will be there speaking. Savannah Hamilton, Tamara Tatum, who's a two-time Olympian and coach, Michaela Ritchie, who's the layup director of basketball operations and a national scout, the Dr. Danielle Howard, who's an associate professor of York University, and Nakisa Kumala Singh, who's the founder of Hoop Queens. This is a panel that will be speaking on May the 14th after the Flex performance at the theater. So that's pretty cool. There'll be like real world women's basketball people that are involved in the industry speaking about the impact and the growth of the sport. And that's fantastic. I love that, man. I love that stuff so much. Yeah, there's Savannah after the show with some of the people at the Flex show. What a night. Had the opportunity to moderate. Oh, that's from the Boldest panel. That's right. That's from the other day. But there she is after the show with everybody at the Flex show, which is pretty cool. Pretty cool. All right. Zach Edey was in Raleigh yesterday. Raleigh, North Carolina. And he's at a show. He was at the show, comedian Shane Gillis. He was watching Shane Gillis do comedy last night at in Raleigh. That's what I see there. Slim Duck is putting on blast some funny stuff. He's got this guy who's about to meet his girlfriend after 5 years of not knowing her. Some catfish stuff. I don't know what's going on there, Chris Boucher. Yeah, Caesar is waiting in a Mexican hotel for his Ukrainian girlfriend to fly in. Wait, hang on. And to meet him. He's planning to propose to her, but some other hotel guests think she may be a catfish. Chris Boucher loves that reality junk TV. You can tell, man. I love that, man. Chris is so awesome. And there's another sign that Chris is going to be a Raptor still, guys. I'm going to tell you in a second. There's a nice picture of Chris's agent, Ephraim. And he's got like Quincy Guerrier in the picture. So some of the Montreal Alliance guys. And of course, his agent is in charge of the Montreal Alliance. He's like one of the front office guys. So it's cool. He's putting on blast Montreal Alliance and Quincy Guerrier and some of the other players that are on that team right there on his Instagram. Here it is. Chris Boucher is really excited to team up with Red Rush to launch Red Rush Slim Duck Select. Basketball opened so many doors for me, and I want to help the next generation believe in their dreams the same way. This team is about more than winning games. It's about building confidence, leadership, and a strong future for our youth. Together with Red Rush, we're creating something that will uplift the youth on and off the court. I can't wait to see where it takes them. Chris Boucher. So he's teaming up with Red Rush basketball, I guess. I thought it was a drink, but it's actually Red Rush basketball. It sounded like a drink, right? Red Rush. I'm endorsing Red Rush, but it's actually a basketball league. So that's interesting. Slim Duck Foundation teaming up with Red Rush. And also he's saying we're on a mission to uplift youths, 2 foundations, 1 vision, Red Rush and Slim Duck Foundation. That's awesome. Shamshay reposting Jamal Shedd's clip that he put out yesterday. He's happy for his rookie class member showing. It's really dramatic, guys. It's pretty cool. Shed has put some guy on blast on his Instagram, some guy named Rayo. I ain't ever seen you act like this. And the guy's sleeping. He's wearing an Astros hat. And I don't know why he's taking a picture of this guy while he's sleeping. It's like, leave that man alone. He probably doesn't even know it. Shed also checking in on Instagram last night. Jamal Shed at Cactus Club, and he's watching the Leafs game last night, and he was cheering them on to go 3-0 in the series. But alas, that's not what happened. In overtime, the Panthers prevailed and won that game. So now it's 2-1 for the Leafs in that second round series in the NHL playoffs. But yeah, Shed was at Cactus Club taking in the Leaf game last night here in Toronto. Let's see. There's Toronto Tempo president putting on blast the panel after the Flex show, and Monica Wright Rogers will be there. That'll be May the 14th if y'all want to go there. Jacoby Walter saying happy birthday to Jameson Battle on there. And he's also got Jamal Shed's video clip also on there. 23 is good. So all the Raptor rookies showing solidarity with Jamal Shed here. And happy birthday to Jameson. I love that. There's the Jameson happy birthday. There's Jacoby Walter high-fiving the Raptor on the Raptors Instagram thing. Vin Bagnani might have a new part in the Instagram stories, because this man is posting his food almost every night. And it's, in some ways, I'm going to take the Vin Bagnani food post as this is where the coaches of the Raptors are eating together. And, well, they're in Toronto still. And he ate at Miko Sushi, which is actually a sushi restaurant I've eaten at a few times. It's very good. So, yeah, we see some nice sushi on Vin Bagnani's Instagram stories. I'm just going to guess that's where the Raptors coaching staff was eating last night. Was at Muku Sushi is where they're at right there. Open Gym is posting Jamal Shed's clip too. So I'm thinking that they may have had a hand in producing Jamal's stuff. Like maybe he's paying them on the side to say, you guys are really good with Open Gym. Can y'all film me specifically if I give y'all some money and we can make some Jamal Shed footage? That may be what's going on there. There's the Raptors official saying happy birthday to Jameson Battle. That's right, Jameson Battle. There you go. Let's see. Do we have anybody else we should look at here? No, that's it. That's the Instagram stories. So, yeah, Jonathan Mobo's sighting yesterday was on 2K. Scotty jumped on Twitch yesterday for, I don't know, it was maybe like an hour. He wasn't on for very long. And it was interesting because they were playing 2K and they had friendly fives going. And Scotty had his team, which was him and like Nardo, Nick, and Lloyd. And then Jonathan Mobo was on the other team against Scotty's team. And it was Mobo versus Barnes. And the Scotty's team was like the one team, like one Lloyd, one Virtue, I think is what Scotty's name is. One this, one that. They all have different names that start with one. One Nick, and Jonathan's team was decked out in the green San Francisco Dons uniforms. And Jonathan's character in the game looked exactly like him and played like him too. So they had a friendly 2K matchup between friends that know each other. And it was funny because we could hear the other team on the Discord chat cackling and laughing because this is what happened. There were 2 games played. And Scotty got confused about this, and he tried to say that he won one of them. He did not. Jonathan's team won both the games, and both of them were very disappointing, honestly. In some ways, I see the same problems that Scott has had for 3 years on 2K. He just can't get solid teammates on his team that are working with him on team. And it's fun to watch him because you can kind of really understand how he's coaching our team in the real NBA from watching him coach his team on 2K. And some of the things he's pointing out to his teammates where they're missing assignments and kind of like going over like, well, why did you not do this? And he's talking to Lloyd. He's like, what did you do? Why did you not do that? It's like you blew the assignment. So you get a little bit of an insider view of the way Scotty Barnes coaches the Raptors during games, like when he's like being a leader and the franchise player on the court, because you can see it in this. So, but they failed miserably. There would be times where they could close, and they're like, Scotty's like, we're going to come back in the fourth. I'm going to beat them. And then the other team could just score at will, and there was no defensive pressure. And Scotty's team just doesn't play defense, and Jonathan's team wins. So they played 2 games, and Mobo's team won both of them. And in the first game, Jonathan's player got 20 rebounds, like over 20 rebounds. They were fun to watch, and it was friendly fives because they were all friends. And it was kind of fun to see Scotty have joy on his face playing with Nick and Nardo and Jonathan and Lloyd and everybody. Yeah, but they didn't win. And he was very focused on the basketball game, not like talking to the chat yesterday. The first time he was on Twitch recently, he was very much wanting to talk to the chat. But this time he was really about playing because he had all of his friends together and they got it organized. And it's like, that's rare. It's really hard for him to get all of his friends together and play 2K together at the same time. So they got to really take advantage of it. But yeah, he wasn't winning. People kept asking Scotty who he's rooting for in the playoffs. And he said, I'm not rooting for anybody. I don't care, is what he said. And then, Pensera came in there and he tried to say he's rooting for OG, obviously. I'm like, I felt like saying something, but this is what I would say. It's obvious that Scotty's rooting for his favorite player in the NBA, Pascal Siakam. Scotty's favorite player in the league is Pascal. He's very much on the record for this. I don't know if Robert knows that. Robert, you idiot. You can think, he's just obviously rooting for OG. I don't know if that's true. I think he'd probably be rooting for Siakam ahead. I don't know. But either way, Scotty, for the record, is not rooting for any team. And he may be watching the playoffs because he enjoys watching it, but he is impartial. He doesn't care what happens in these playoffs. He very much made that clear. Now, the craziest thing happened on his Twitch stream yesterday. And this is really monumentally big. And this is part of the reason why you need to watch the Raptor Freak channel every morning, because you're going to get this information. In the middle of his stream, while he was playing, his baby mama came on screen and came into the camera and came over to see Scott for a second. And she had no idea he was live on Twitch at that moment and that he had an audience watching him. Alyssa came into the room and bent over and talked to Scott while he's sitting in the game chair and said, "Are you playing for a while?" And like just started talking to him. It was like, so how, what's going on? And so this guy's like, "Yeah, I'm having fun. I'm just here." And they're just kind of talking for a second. And then she kind of started to realize, "Are you online right now? Live?" And like, this guy's like, "Yeah, I'm on right now. I'm on Twitch online right now. And they can see me," is what she said. And he was like, yeah. He's like, she went, "Oh," and she like covered up and ran off the camera real quick. It's so funny in some ways. But, I think that in some ways she was kind of checking to see if he could come and hang out with her or do something. And because he played one more game and he lost again. And then he kind of like, "Y'all chat, I got to go." And he got out of there. So he was only on for about an hour. But the highlight really was Alyssa showing up and just like appearing in the middle of it. It was kind of cool to see that energy and to understand, she is around his house and around him and stuff like that. And, the baby's probably there in the house with them, obviously, and stuff like that. So a little bit of a view of the domestic life of Scotty on Twitch yesterday, seeing his baby mama make an appearance on the camera, even if she didn't know she was on there. She's like, "Oh," and she ran out. She's like, "Oh no," she covered her face and ran off the camera. It's crazy. It's kind of funny. So yeah, there's a little bit of the Instagram stories and all that kind of stuff there. Fiercey's here. Good morning, fam, and happy Saturday. Good morning to you, MJ. I hope you're having a fantastic weekend so far. Y'all, since Fiercey's here, I said I would do this yesterday. We're going to go ahead and read off Fiercey's team for her fantasy team so that you guys can kind of tell me how they are. Trevor, you're here, right? G, if you guys are here, I'm going to read off Fiercey's team, and I want you guys to give me your critique of Fiercey's fantasy WNBA team and what you feel about the personnel that she collected for fantasy season coming up. So first of all, she took the jewel of my team the last couple of years, Jewel Lloyd, who's newly on the Las Vegas Aces. So she's got Jewel Lloyd on her team. She's got Canadian Bridget Carlton. She's got Brittany Griner at center from the Atlanta Dream. Courtney Williams, Minnesota Lynx. Dorka for Minnesota also, the big forward. Courtney Vandersloot, the guard for Chicago. Kayla Thornton for the new expansion, Golden State Valkyries. Camila Cardoza, center for the Chicago Sky. Sammy Whitcomb, Phoenix Mercury, Nayara Sabali, New York Liberty, and Maureen Johannes of New York Liberty also. Trevor, please write in the comments some critique of Fiercey Salsera's fantasy WNBA team, and let me know how you feel about that team. I can read them over again real quick for you, real fast, if you want. Jewel Lloyd, Bridget Carlton, Brittany Griner, Courtney Williams, Dorka Juhas, Courtney Vandersloot, Kayla Thornton, Camila Cardoza, Sammy Whitcomb, Nayara Sabali, and Maureen Johannes is Fiercey's team. And you guys give her a grade on her drafting skills and who she's got together there. That's pretty good stuff. Yeah. Blackout saying fight the power. There you go. There you go, Flavor Flav. Public Enemy is more important now than ever. That everything matters about Public Enemy and the message and everything about that right now. There's a guy named Mers who made a rap song in the last couple years that says Public Enemy is still #1. And yeah, fuck Donald Trump. It's all in the same song. Seriously. It's like fuck insufficient funds, fuck Donald Trump, and Public Enemy is still #1. This is what the lyrics are. This guy's awesome. He's a more recent hip hop artist, Murs, and pretty cool to hear him do that kind of stuff on his song. It's a good song. I might find it and post the song in the chat, the comments on the stream, so y'all can watch the video that I'm talking about. It's pretty cool. Fiercely saying Jokic wasn't effective yesterday. His teammates carried him for once. I did not see that score because I went to bed early and I just saw the outcome this morning. So let me go look at the box score real quick. It looks like SGA only got 18 and 13 rebounds, 7 of 22 shooting. Yeah, SGA did not shoot very well over the course of that game in some ways. Look at Chet Holmgren, 7 for 19. Why is he shooting so much? 16 rebounds and 18 points for Chet, though. That's pretty good. And then Jalen Williams, he shot 11 of 21 or 32%. So, yeah, they shot 39% as a whole, the Thunder. They didn't shoot as well as they usually do. And that's a big problem right there. So, yeah, Jokic had a normal game, which is 20 and 16. He was 8 of 25. So he shot really bad, too. So it was Jamal got 27 on 9 of 19 shooting. And Porter and Gordon showed up and got 20 each. So that was carrying. They didn't really get anything from their bench either. Wow. It really is like 4 of their starters got 20 points. And that's what carried the Nuggets. And it's the core 4 guys. It's Jokic, Jamal, Aaron, and Michael Porter Jr. Wow. And they didn't shoot. They shot better, though. They shot 46% as a group. Man, that's crazy. And it really was Gordon and Porter who shot together 14 of 21. So that's pretty good shooting by the 2 forwards for the Nuggets. They kind of carried, it looks like. They kind of carried them. Interesting stuff. Aaron Gordon has been top 2 clutch player in the playoffs. I guess that's true. He has a couple of game winners, and he's playing like in that kind of level. A little bit of Robert Horry in him right now. Interesting. Very, very interesting, G. Yeah, fiercely saying Hartenstein missing 3 easy baskets in overtime wasn't it. Announcers kept raving about his push shot. I find Jakobs is more polished. So Isaiah Hartenstein had some really easy shots, and he messed them up, huh? That's too bad. Yeah, he didn't shoot well either, I guess, is what it's showing here. He shot 5 for 14. That's really bad. Only 10 points, 10 rebounds, though, double-double. Technically a double-double. Technically. G saying when they did the hockey draft lottery, the team Islanders projected for 10th got the first pick. Wow! So they had the 10th pick and they moved all the way up to #1. So that's a similar thing to what Atlanta did last year. That's very similar. James is saying I like Pickle Barrel. They got gluten-free and vegan options. Yeah, they do. And they have such a huge menu. There's something for anybody there. And I really do like the pastrami and the different kind of meats. The Montreal smoked meat and the Reuben. The Reuben's a classic there. Ooh, Pickle Barrel Reuben. Look out. Look, man, I'm making myself hungry. It's like watching Trevor J post his food porn on Discord server. It's like, Trevor, stop sending this food stuff to us, man. You're making everybody hungry. Always making us hungry. Showing us the Friday menu yesterday. Trevor J. Oh, man. It's like, yeah. Kaz is saying no Pickle Barrel in Ottawa, though. Man, that's too bad. Yeah, I don't know. I would have thought that the Pickle Barrel would have expanded out of Toronto more, but it really hasn't. It is very much a regional phenomena for the greater Toronto area. There's no Pickle Barrels in the States, and it basically all the Pickle Barrels are around cities and towns around Toronto and within Toronto. That's right. Yeah, Fiercey's asking if we can look at the WNBA lineup. I put it out there already. We'll have to see. Yeah, Kaz is saying also, Lex, it's Jeff Dowton's birthday. He is 28 years old. Yeah. Happy birthday to Jeffrey. Jeffrey, you're awesome. I'll always have a nice place for you in my heart because honestly, you are doing things the right way in your life. It's just what it is. You're in between player between the G League and the NBA. And in some ways, every single NBA opportunity you get, you go with it, man, and do as much as you can. You're 28 now. It's tough to be a part-time G League player in the NBA at the age of 28. That's not easy. That is not easy. No. Kareem saying the coachless, GM-less Denver Nuggets have a 2-1 series lead over one of the greatest regular season teams in NBA history. Experience matters. Nuggets are gassed, running on fumes. Chip is in their DNA. Yeah, we know that this is a Denver homer. This guy actually is a Broncos freak. It's not necessarily a Nuggets freak, but there's a proclivity and affinity for the city of Denver from Kareem Thomas, obviously. So he's very much all about Denver beating Oklahoma City. I'm not with you on this, man. I'm not with you on this. And I know some other people here aren't either, but some are. To me, Denver's old news. They won their championship, and like I said, as you're saying, they have a championship pedigree and knowledge and experience that they are utilizing right now very effectively to be successful. But also, I still believe they're on the escalator coming down from a peak of where they were a couple of years ago. And I just don't see them having the legs to get all the way to the end. I really don't. Even if they beat the Thunder in this round, I think, well, it depends on who gets past then the other side. If it ends up being a Nuggets Warriors thing, I could see the Nuggets getting the finals. If it ends up being a Nuggets Timberwolves thing, I don't know. In some ways, man, some of the really tough, nasty teams, I mean, Oklahoma City really is that team in the West. I don't know. I'm totally 100% going for Dort and SGA. I can't get with you on Denver, man. I mean, I respect what you're saying, but I don't know. That'll only go so far. That'll only go so far, is what I'm saying. That will only go so far. And this, you can't say they're coachless. The guy who's coaching their team, David Edelman, is an NBA lifer. His father was one of the top 10 most wins in the NBA's history, Rick Edelman. And he knows a lot about the NBA. So I'm not going to say this. And plus, David Edelman's been coaching beside Michael Malone for years. So it's not really like a coachless team. It's basically they took the hard-nosed, old-school style of Michael Malone yelling at them out of the picture. And maybe it's it's an environment where it's less toxic because people aren't grinding on each other's nerves. And Edelman is kind of a fresh face, but he's a familiar face. And he's somebody that's already been working inside of everything already. Let's see. Wayne saying, morning Raptor freaks. Oklahoma City is very predictable in getting points under the crunch. So is the Nuggets with their two-man play with Murray and Jokic. However, the Nuggets are way better at being predictable. You mean like being successful even though they're predictable? Yeah. I mean, in some ways, they know everything kind of emanates from Nikola, and teams have tried to figure out how to do this. But in some ways, Nikola is such a special player. He figures around the ways on all kinds of schemes that they try to do to try and stop him. Like I've said recently, one of the best ways to stop the Nuggets is to stay at home and take away those great passing targets for Nikola. And when you do that, it forces him to try and find his offense more in a one-on-one situation against one defender. Well, if that defender is good at kind of stymieing him, you can kind of mess up the Nuggets that way. But that's the thing. Jokic is really hard to stop, whether it's trying to stop him from passing to other people or it's trying to stop him from scoring for himself. And that's the key right there. It may be predictable in some ways on that side, but in some ways, Nikola is not predictable. And he is able to do stuff that's special that gets around that. Yeah, I've heard the complaints that people are saying about Oklahoma City, that in some ways they have a bread and butter and they go to it too much. And in some ways, test it, stress test it through the playoffs and see just how far you can get with being that predictable. I don't know. We'll have to see how this goes. I'm just going to say this, that the Nuggets may have the experience and the pedigree, but I really do feel like SGA's got the desire, the hunger, and the motivation in this whole situation more than the Nuggets do in some ways. Seriously, SGA has a lot to prove still right now. And in some ways, like I said, he's looking at this MVP race along with what is happening. And, well, his team's success and him doing well will benefit him in this MVP race. That's very, very important in some ways right now. Yeah, Kareem's saying both SGA and Joker had bad shooting nights. Difference is Joker impacts the game more despite the horrible shooting percentage from the three-point line. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you're probably right that Nikola is one of these players that just has an effect on his teammates in the whole game in a major way. But I don't discount SGA for being a factor in various ways other than just his scoring. We know the guy's really good at stealing the ball. He can be a really tough on ball pressure defense. I don't know. I'm not going to slight Shea Gilgeous-Alexander for Nikola Jokic. I just won't do it. In some ways, my allegiance is the Raptors first. I have an allegiance to Team Canada also. And in some ways, I ain't going to do this, man. I ain't going to do this, especially if Gordon Hebert and SGA and Lou Dort and them are going to be playing Nikola in some sort of international FIBA competition in the years to come. No way. We're going SGA all the way. You can have loyalties to Denver. We can be different on this, but I'm still going to go rah, rah, rah. I'm rooting for Thunder. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. Fiercely saying 21 turnovers. Yikes. Let's see. Joker has had many turnovers this playoffs, though. He had 8 just yesterday. Is that true? Wow. I mean, he does have the ball in his hands a lot. That's a lot of it usage. Yeah, 8 turnovers, 6 assists. That's not a very good assist to turnover ratio. 6 to 8 assist to turnover ratio. Yikes. Kareem saying OKC mauls the offenses. It's like 2019 Raptors, but much more worse. Yeah, I think that's good then. That's the playoff mentality. I come from the school of bad boys Pistons, and I am okay with any kind of physical kind of playoffs and that kind of thing. Raptors did it to win their championship. Hey, OKC's going to do it. I mean, all these teams are doing it this year. There's a very physical edge on all the playoff teams right now. All of them. They're all having to do this kind of crazy extra physical stuff right now. That's right. G saying Jokic has had 21 turnovers in 3 games versus 4 from SGA. They do maul Joker, but in spite of the narrative that he has no help, clearly Jamal and Gordon have been huge this playoffs. Yeah, Gordon for sure. Jamal Murray's come on lately. He's come on more in this series, it seems like, than in the first round. He had a couple of duds, but he had a couple of good games too. Let's see. G saying Nuggets have never die mentality. Their experience is coming through too. Yeah, that's going to be the big part of it. There is the youth versus experience, and that youth talent, can it overcome the experience of already knowing what you're doing? You know, Kareem saying, yeah, being up against Hartenstein and Holmgren is no easy feat. Gordon and Murray leaving it all on the court. Nuggets are rallying around Joker, but a 6-man rotation will not suffice. Nuggets are prideful. Will go out swinging haymakers. Yeah, we'll have to see. We'll have to see what happens. Hopefully nobody's going to be hitting nobody. We don't need any of that energy in the NBA. That's the Warriors Timberwolves series, not this one. G said, I thought Denver would do damage in the playoffs based on what Kareem is saying, and watching them rally in fourth quarters and willing wins. I want OKC to win, but clearly it won't be easy. Well, that's good. In some ways, let's think about what happened with the Raptors in their championship run. Everybody said the second round against Philadelphia was the toughest series in that whole run to get the championship. It was a 7-game series that went down to a shot with Kawhi. So in some ways, this Denver-Oklahoma City series could very well be that kind of thing for possibly the Thunder or the Nuggets, depending on who wins the series. It may very well be both teams. If either one of them win the championship this year, will say, well, our toughest round was the second round against that opponent. It's kind of like that. It's kind of like that Philadelphia Toronto vibe 2019 kind of series going on right now. We'll have to see. The Nuggets experience is up 2-1. The Thunder are going to want to reply to them with a win in the next game. We'll have to see if they can even it out 2-2 in the next one. That's right. Drum roll on my WNBA team. Let's see what they say. If they were looking at it, we'll see. Okay, Trevor did say some opinions on it. We'll do it in a sec. Randolph saying, Saturday blessings, beloved Raptor Freaks, most informative gang. Do not allow the negativity and evil in the world dictate the existence of positivity, love, good, help, and hopefulness. Yeah, carve out your own little space in the world mentally and your own little place in the world. Get your own sanctuary away from the madness and the stupidity. We're being inundated with bad news all the time. Well, you don't need to look at the bad news all the time. Maybe it's good to stay informed so that you understand what's going on, just so you can be safe and understand. But all of the little details and every little thing about what's going on, maybe you don't need to see all of it because it'll weigh you down. In some ways, it's designed to do this. These assholes really are trying to break people's spirits. So in an age like this, something like me doing my channel is more essential than ever because it brings joy. It's art. It's something that may be frivolous to some people, but it brings joy to you guys. It brings joy to me. And that's what we need to do. We need to carve out joy in this world where there's some of the powers that be that want to destroy things and make people miserable. So that's part of the resisting right there. is not just resisting tyranny and dictatorship and oligarchy. It's also resisting the terror and the fear and the anger and the hate and the hurt that they're trying to put on us, and turn the other cheek and be a more powerful, positive person because of it. It's almost like take the energy of the negativity into you and convert it into positive love, and out comes out that from you. It's like, you know, the energy coming at you, you can't totally control. You can control how you filter it and whether you see it, but you can control the energy you put out. And that's the fight. And that's part of the resistance right there. Yeah, you're going to tell me this, you're going to do that. You're going to be awful. You're going to make old people starve. You're going to make a whole bunch of kids around the world, millions of people die. Well, you know what? I'm going to fight this with love and positivity. And we're going to say, yeah, we're resisting your evil. And that's what we're going to do. Thank you, Randolph Phillips, for your words of wisdom, and blessings to the Phillips family, all the Raptor Freak families out there. That's right. Fiercely saying, as you read my lineup, someone just proposed me a trade. That's a good sign. Well, that sounds like, yeah, somebody proposed you a trade. Okay, this is good stuff. We want to see what's happening. So Trevor's saying Fiercely has a good team, and whoever has the Atlanta Dream point guard, Canada, she is injured. Jordan Canada is out now. I don't have her. I don't remember who has Jordan Canada on that team. So very interesting stuff there. Kareem saying, Fiercely, your team sucks. I'm just being honest. As a man of goodwill, I'll offer you Kennedy Carter for Camila Cardoza. I sent the request already. Consider this a favor, and you're welcome. Have a blessed day. So that's where the trade came from Butt Dialer. And maybe Butt Dialer that trade to you. I don't know. He's trying to send a Mexican player to your team who's not even playing in the WNBA this year for Cardoza. And that's you know, look at it. I'm not going to say don't take it, but yeah, don't take it. I guess I should just say, yeah, don't take it. But yeah, that's funny. So Kareem's trying to unload a player that is not going to be playing this year onto your team for a player that will be playing. So yeah, you know what to do, Fiercey there. Have a blessed day. Kaz is laughing. G saying Fiercey has an awesome team. There you go. G likes it. 2 thumbs up from G about Fiercey's team. That's right. Kareem's laughing. Smooth saying Denver will make OKC work very hard, man. I still think the Thunder will win the series, but it will go the limit. Wow, that Reggie may be right. Man, it could be a 7-game series. It really could. The way it's going right now, it looks like it. Yeah, Trevor's saying Tyrese had no impact on the game last night. 4 points, 5 attempts. Can't win games. This is one of the weird things about Tyrese Halliburton, and this is one of the reasons why I don't really want him on my team ever. Is he gets into that high usage, flaky streak shooter kind of area where he's not dependable night in, night out. And this has always been the case his whole career. In fact, he'll go through slumps where he's absolutely bad for like 2 months. And then he'll wake up and he'll have crazy, unstoppable games, or he'll be like a game winner, or just absolutely fantastic. In some ways, you don't know night in, night out if you're going to get anything from Halliburton. And this is one of those nights where he did not show up and help them. And you're exactly right. Yeah, Kareem saying my loyalty is to Denver, but let's not forget Jamal is a Canadian and the brother of the great Jonte Porter. No, why did you say that? The once great Jonte Porter and plays for the Nuggets. Yeah, I don't like the Porter family. In fact, I put marks against them for having Michael Porter. Yeah, I'm that mad at Jonte. Jonte disgraced our team. Jonte disgraced the NBA. Jonte disgraced himself. And Michael Porter Jr. is just the knucklehead that's lucky that's still able to play and do things in the NBA. Honestly, his whole family is a bunch of degenerates, and the Porter family is idiots. And honestly, I hate that family. And in some ways, I hate Michael Porter Jr. just because he's Jonte's brother at this point. I really do. I can't separate them. In fact, I hear Michael Porter Jr. talk, and I realize this is a low IQ, idiotic family full of DUI people, and they can all go to hell. It's how I feel about Michael Porter and his family. Seriously, they sound so low class and just really, really like not good people. I mean, 3 of the brothers are in jail right now for crimes. So it's like, fuck the Porters, man. Now, Jamal Murray, being a Canadian, yes, but there's 2 Canadians on the Oklahoma City Thunder. And honestly, the best Canadian is on the Thunder. And also, Jamal Murray has been flaky towards Team Canada. In some ways, he has not shown up in the past when we needed him. And honestly, he hurt us last year in the Olympics. He did not help us in any kind of way. In fact, he was a dead note on the piano for Team Canada. And I blame him partly for why the Canadian team didn't do better at Paris. So I'm not in good standing totally with Jamal Murray right now. In some ways, I love that he's a champion from Kitchener. I love that he's Canadian, but also out of all the Team Canada guys, he's my least favorite right now, partly because he hasn't done enough to help the program. In some ways, yeah, he can help the Nuggets. He can do all this, but the Team Canada stuff, and it should be a second afterthought. He doesn't prioritize it or take it seriously enough. Let's just put it that way. I don't get the energy from Jamal that he takes his Team Canada stuff seriously enough. RJ takes it very seriously. SGA takes it very seriously. In fact, Gilgeous-Alexander, of all the people on that team, could be the most flaky because he is the best one. But he is not like that, and he sets the tone. Meanwhile, Jamal Murray sets a very bad tone around Team Canada that I don't like. In fact, if he's not fully healthy, I don't want him on Team Canada next time. If he's half hurt like he was last year, we don't need to even mess with him on this team. There's enough really good, talented young Canadians coming up that if Jamal Murray is hobbled or not 100% healthy, I don't want him on Team Canada. I really don't. He's going to waste our time. He's going to fail. He's going to be hurt, and he's going to do a half-ass effort like he did in Paris. So that's where I stand on Murray. I love Murray for being Canadian. I love that he won a championship with the Nuggets. But I also don't like what he's done for Team Canada the last few years. He's been AWOL, and when he has shown up, he's been half-ass hurt, and he did not help our team. So that's kind of where I'm at. So I'll take the intense defense from Lou Dort and what he does, and the all-round number one best player on Team Canada, SGA. So if we're going about Canadian allegiances in some ways, that's the way I look at it. So yeah, really bad examples. Porter, no, man, I ain't getting behind Porter for sure. Screw that guy. I like Nikola. I respect Nikola. I hate Aaron Gordon. I think Aaron Gordon's a piece of garbage too. So there's not a lot of likability on the Nuggets for me besides Joker and Jamal. The rest of the team, they suck, and I hate them. So it's like I can't get behind this, man. Joker's gotten so many accolades. He's already gotten the MVP so many times, 3 times already. I'm not worried for him to get any more acclaim. So in some ways, I don't have any wishes for good things for the Nuggets because they've already been there, done that. And what is it at this point? I don't care. I don't care. I don't have an affinity for that city like you do. And that's part of it right there. That's part of it right there. Fiercely saying, thank you, G and Kareem. I hope you're the one who requested a trade with me. I will decline. That's the smart move. That's a smart move, MJ. And Kareem, we're going to have to do your fantasy team soon next. So maybe we'll do it tomorrow. If you're in the chat, I want to make sure we do it because you're here. Like, I don't want to do a review of your fantasy team and you're actually like not even in the chat. So we'll have to make sure if Kareem's here tomorrow, we're going to do his fantasy team review, just like we did Fiercely today. Yeah, Carter's out of the league. So no thanks. She did her homework. She knows. That's right. And Kareem's saying, sorry, Fiercely. I tried to pull a fast one on you. My competitive spirit sometimes gets the best of me. Well, I'm just glad she didn't blindly just say yes to her trade right there. There you go. Fiercely's laughing. Fiercely's laughing. All right, let me see what else we got in our tabs to check. We'll probably do the classic card very soon. I did the refs. I did Pickle Barrel. I did this. Okay, let's wrap Reddit reactions. Reddit reactions. Okay, let's just see. Kaz on Reddit is saying ulterior motives, baby. Okay, this has to do with Jamal McGlure. It says cheering for the Nuggets because you love good hoops and an underdog with a Canadian as a major contributor in Kitchener's finest. Okay. Cheering for the Nuggets because you want SGA to leave Oklahoma City and become a Raptor if the Thunder fail to win a chip with him in 2 years. Okay. So this is a line of thinking of Reddit. Reddit wants the Nuggets to beat the Thunder so that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is upset in Oklahoma City Thunder and unhappy because they're not getting anywhere. And all of a sudden, he's coming to play for Toronto somehow. I mean, the logic in some ways is sound, but I don't know if the process would work this way. Sam Presti just won Executive of the Year, and it would be a very poor job to lose a player like SGA to any team in this league in any kind of way. So, I know everybody here in Toronto wants to get Shai Gilgeous-Alexander to wear a Raptors jersey at some point, and he may very well want it himself and also. But I don't know if it totally gets dictated by that kind of stuff, guys. In some ways, Sam Presti in Oklahoma City is going to have a lot of say on trying to what's going to happen with SGA. And once again, they had a record year this year with their record. Even if they fail in the playoffs, I don't think SGA is going to be disgruntled and want to get out of there. The vibes and the fun of that nucleus is very much like strong. And man, it's going to take a lot for SGA to get disgruntled in the Thunder. I'm just saying. I don't even think losing to the Nuggets in this round is enough at all. I think the man sees the promise, and it's just like, well, I'll come back and continue to do what we did. It was a fun season, and we're going to learn from this, and we'll do better in the playoffs. So, Raptors fans, I know that your reason may be that you want to root against Oklahoma City for this reason, but man, I don't know. I don't know. This is crazy. This is a crazy way to think about it in some ways. Let's see. What else are they saying on here? All right. This is an interesting thing, and I really like this. Basically, an analysis has found that the Raptors are among the top drafting teams in the league, guys, that they've done a study and they've taken into account all the draft picks in recent years, and they found that the Raptors have done the best in some ways. I'm going to give the link to this right now so you guys can see this post because it's very interesting, and there's a link to more on it. So I'm just going to post a link in the chat. You guys can click on it, and you can see what I'm talking about right now. It's on Reddit. Basically, they've got all the teams listed here, and they're trying to see positive, traditional, positive, advanced deviation of each franchise from global draft average. And the Raptors' green pillars are way higher than everybody else's. The Nets rival us. It looks like the Nets are similar to us as far as how well they've done in the draft. But there's some teams that are really bad. Like, in fact, the Wizards have the worst draft, it looks like. The Wizards and the Magic have the worst draft things. And Portland has a bad one too. The Pistons, the Timberwolves. Yeah, it's an interesting graph. And the teams that do well in the draft are apparently the Nets, the Heat, the Raptors, the Warriors, the Lakers, and the Grizzlies are saying have the best picks in the draft, like, and done the best. So this is pretty cool. The Raptors in this analysis are showing that they have done. They're one of the better teams in the whole entire league as far as drafting. And in some ways on here, they say the Raptors for the Raptors, Pascal Siakam, a 27th pick in 2016 clearly stands out, having developed into one of the best players in his class. Another win was Norman Powell, taken 46th in this 2015. And OG Anunoby, the 23rd pick in 2017, has proven to be a steal. So they're naming those three players as part of the reason why we're one of the best. The Brooklyn Nets, they're naming Nick Claxton, Jared Allen, and Karis LeVert. And Memphis, they're naming Desmond Bane, Jalen Wells, Dylan Brooks, Santi Aldama, and Brandon Clark as some of their cases of why they're really good at drafting. So according to this study, the Raptors are one of the top three best drafting teams in the NBA. And the worst three are the Orlando Magic, the Washington Wizards, and the Detroit Pistons. And the Detroit Pistons, they named Stanley Johnson on here, just so y'all know. They named him on here for part of it. So that's an interesting little article put on blast on Raptors Reddit right now, as far as like we are one of the best drafting teams in the league. There you go. There's a mystery hat on Raptors Reddit, and they're asking what year and where it's from. So who knows? Maybe that they're let's see. I think that's it. We won't look at Raptors Reddit anymore on that tip. Let's do the next couple comments, and we'll go ahead and do the classic card. Yeah, let's see. Fiercely saying, Lex, you're right. Murray wasn't locked in on the Olympics team. Shows way more effort with the Nuggets. Yeah, that pisses me off. Seriously. I mean, don't come and be on the Olympic team unless you're coming correct, is what I'm going to say. Seriously, because we have so many good players that could be playing for Team Canada now. And if you're not going to come healthy and ready to play at your top level, I don't want you. Because Shaedon Sharpe, Benedict Mathurin, Oliver Ryu, Delano Banton, AJ Lawson. There's a lot of young Canadians that would love to put that jersey on and play their full out for this team. And Jamal Murray, if you're hurt, don't come. If you're trying to come and play and you're going to take a roster spot, you're going to take minutes, you're going to play half-ass. In some ways, I saw you at practice not being serious. You're joking around and smiling too much.
and just not taking this shit serious enough. So I say, I don't care if you're one of the better Canadians in the league. If you ain't coming correct and healthy, I don't want you playing for Team Canada next time around. Seriously. So you better be fully healthy, Jamal, and you better come with the right mindset and not be acting like this is just fun, goofy, joke around time. Team Canada FIBA basketball is very important. And if you're going to be one of the top options on the team, maybe the second one after SGA, you better be on top of your game. Because if you're not, well, something like what happened last summer is going to happen. We relied on you to make shots, and you did not make your shots in the Olympics last year. And you were a dead note on that team. RJ was solid. SGA was solid, but you were not. And that's what I got to say about that. That's right. That's what I got to say. Cream's saying, sorry, guys, I'll be at Denny's, then later Mandarin. Skip my team review tomorrow. Okay, well, maybe we'll do somebody else's review tomorrow. And when I see you back in the chat again, we'll get you done. So, yeah, we still got a few more teams to review before this WNBA season starts in the next week. And I'd like to get the reviews done before then. There's 10 teams, and we've done now, as of today, we've done 5 analysis. So there's half the league still to do, and we'll get those other teams done next. That's right. Let's see. Smooth is saying, now that the Cavs are fully healthy and engaged, do the Pacers win another game in this series? That's tough. I mean, I don't believe that they're fully healthy. I think that that's a misnomer right there. There's no way that these guys are all fully healthy. They've come back and played despite not being healthy. That's what I would say to this. Garland's output in that game last night was not normal, and that means he's rushed to come back, and he's not totally healthy. So I don't believe that they're fully healthy. I don't think you can give them that. These guys are playing hurt, and they're not going to be completely themselves right now. So that's Mobley, Hunter, and Garland. They have nagging injuries, and they're probably just grinning and bearing it for right now. So I don't know, man. I hope the Pacers have not lost the momentum to the point where they're just going to lose 4 straight now after winning 2 straight. I really hope that's not true. But it could be. That's the way basketball works. Momentum, things get changed, adjustments happen. All of a sudden you unlock something, and you're like, oh, we figured this team out. Now we're really beating them. Raptors did that stuff in playoffs before, where you unlock something, you figure out, oh, we got them now because we got this figured out. And if the other team doesn't adjust or figure out the way to counterbalance that, and they just continue to have the same action done to them, they're done. They're done. They're out. So in some ways, this is important for the Pacers to make the adjustments, Rick Carlisle, and figure out what to do in this situation now. You've had really good success in the series so far. Continue to try and find it. Continue to try and find it. That's right. Trevor's saying, Smooth, are you watching the WWE pay-per-view Backlash tonight? And Reggie's saying, yes, for sure. Awesome. So they're having another WWE pay-per-view tonight. Interesting. Trevor's saying, Masai Giants of Africa Festival, July 26th to August the 2nd. Yeah, they've announced that Giants of Africa has expanded to be more days, that they're going to make it more than just a week, and that the camp and what they're going to do with that. And then also they're going to have a really big event in Rwanda for Giants of Africa this summer. And Masai will be there as the ambassador and the host of the thing. Of course, this has a lot to do with the whole problems with, they're talking about the guy who's in charge in Rwanda and kind of being critical about like that leader being in the same kind of like partnership with Masai and the NBA and stuff like that. So in some ways, this is an interesting move by Ujiri, that he's going to go head on with it and say, there's nothing wrong with me working with Kagame. There's nothing wrong with me working with the Rwandan government. And I'm going to go ahead and do it because I don't want to feel like I'm a criminal for working with this person and doing what I'm doing. In fact, I'm trying to build positive things in Africa with building infrastructure for basketball and getting more people to play basketball and build opportunities economically for people in that country. That's all very altruistic and good. In some ways, it's like the other stuff about the leader of Rwanda that's ugly. Well, I don't have anything to do with that. And I get it. Some people are going to say, well, you can't interact with people like that. Well, what the hell is Israel then? Seriously. Y'all going to be all high and mighty about Masai Ujiri dealing with Rwanda, but you won't be all high and mighty about everybody in the Zionistic world that just deals with Israel and sends money for bombing people. Yeah, you can't pick and choose this higher ground. If y'all are going to be a certain way with Israel, you damn for sure can't be telling people how to be about Rwanda. I'm sorry. You shouldn't be saying that stuff because it's a different scale of things on a whole level too. In some ways, it's a whole different kind of scale of things in some ways right there. Fiercely saying, gotta go, fam. Take care. Yeah, we're right at an hour and a half. I mean, I got to do the classic card right now. So I'll do that real quick. So yeah, good. It's good stuff with Messiah. I always support what he's doing, even if some people out there are trying to muckrake him and trying to say, "Oh, he's doing this, he supports a dictator and all this kind of stuff." I'm like, whatever, man. Get out of here with that. There's dictator that's a problem in the White House. You start with him. How about that? How about that? The dictator in Rwanda, he's not as big of potatoes as far as things like that. All right, this card's really weird. In some ways, I have to hold it a weird way so that you guys can't see the name. So yeah, here's the classic card. Can you figure out who that is? You probably see it from there and understand who that is. Full name answer, please. It's like a ticket card. They're weird cards, man. I don't totally understand it. So yeah, if you can see it from that distance, I'll give it to you 100. If I have to bring it closer, it's going to be 50 because it is a pretty well-known player and a pretty easy player to figure out with. So yeah, we'll see if anybody gets the classic card today. Classic card. First person to write it in. Steven Adams is right. Reggie got it. That's Steven Adams when he's on the Pelicans, of course. Yeah, it's a ticket card. It's like season ticket, and it's got like I don't know what those. It's like a seat or something like that. That's a weird, man. It's a weird card. So I have to cover his name right in the middle. Let's see. What's the back look like? Same picture. Steven Adams. Big dude. Big, strong guy. That's right. Rockets. That's right. So I'll give you 100 points. How about that, Reggie? You're going to get 100 points for getting the classic card. Steven Adams is a classic card today. Steven Adams. Not in the playoffs anymore. But, oh well. 100 points. I didn't bring it close. So he got the 100. All right, let's see. What else do we got? And I'll be out of here. He's like a current player. Those are a few and far between for me. Yeah, you got the current player. That's right. Kareem saying, damn it, I paused the stream. I was like 15-second delayed. Yeah, you got to hit that live button. It's up there in the left corner. Hit that red live button and make sure that you are live on the stream. That's always important, with whether it's a trivia or whatever it is. You need to make sure you're live because you're losing that competitive advantage if you're not. That's for sure. All right, let's wrap it up, I guess, guys. I've gotten through most of what I want to say today. We talked about Scotty on Twitch yesterday and seeing Alyssa. We talked about the playoff games. We did our Canadian goods. That's right. Pickle Barrel. Let's go. All right, so we'll do a wrap up on the Share the Love Club for JYD. If you guys have any memories or thing you want to say about Jerome Williams, say it right now while you can. Jerome, you're awesome, man. Happy birthday, Jerome. I appreciate you for bringing the dog pound motif here to Toronto and being a great active alumni for the Raptors over the years. You've done a lot of community work. That's been fantastic. You've done a lot of good charity work. You've made an enthusiasm for the Raptors while you were a player and ever since with your dog pound mentality and your way of being who you are truly. Jerome Williams, happy for 52nd birthday to you. I appreciate you and your book, Role Player. And, everybody go buy his book. Seriously. Buy Jerome's book because, we want to help him as an author to get book sales. And it's great if Raptors family takes care of Raptor like Jerome Williams. There's a cool jersey on the back, number 13. But yeah, he's awesome, man. And like I said, he's actually watched our channel before. He's aware of this channel. And maybe he'll find this birthday wish towards him today. Maybe. We'll have to see. He's also Facebook friends with me. And I have messaged him through Facebook at times, and he's replied to me. So Jerome Williams is very fan-friendly and very kind and nice with his time, considering he's a Facebook friend of mine, and he's actually, interacted with me. So there you go. Yeah, dogs. You got a bunch of dogs? Yeah, woo-woo. Yeah, the dog pound. That's right. He's like a lot of dogs. Man, I want big, tough dogs. That looks like a toy dog. That little dog, that one dog you got there. The other dogs look okay. It's like a CNI dog there. You got a CNI dog? That's pretty cool. There you go. Yeah, but Jerome Williams, you're awesome. Y'all go buy Role Player, his new book. And, just have a dog pound mentality. Get out there and work your ass off and be energetic and positive and happy, just like Jerome Williams. He's a great role model. He always has been. And I appreciate his passion and his love for the city of Toronto. It's been there right from the start. As soon as he was drafted and he rushed here in his truck, and the way he played for our team was just the right way. And in some ways, he was an awesome role player to be on the team with Vince Carter at that time, because in some ways he rubbed off on our Raptor players at that time with his hustle and energy and really tenacious kind of stuff that he was doing. So thank you for setting a tone as a player, Jerome, during your tenure on the Raptors. You were willing to sacrifice your body to go out of bounds to save the ball. Plays like Kurt Rambis and Dennis Rodman made before you. You were that kind of player, and I appreciate that for you. Very flashy rebounder, grabbing that ball, bringing it down, and throwing those elbows, making sure nobody's stealing the ball from him once he brings that ball down. And of course, you made those headbands look real good. The purple headbands. That's right. Like I got the one on top of the trophy up there. They all wore in the playoffs around then. So thank you, Jerome Williams. Happy 52nd birthday. And I'm going to buy your book very soon. That's right. There you go. There you go. There you go. Woo, 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 woo. All right, y'all. Tomorrow's going to be the Sunday report. It's going to be Mother's Day. So I think that we'll do something special because it's Mother's Day tomorrow for the channel. And one of these Sundays coming up, I'll have the annual ref report for how the referees treated the Raptors this season, who were the best refs for the Raptors and the worst refs, and also where our winning percentages are with them after this season. So I have to do the work for that still. And I don't want to do it for tomorrow because tomorrow's going to be Mother's Day. But we're going to have that Sunday report coming to y'all soon. The annual ref report with the best refs for the Raptors this past year, the worst refs, and which refs got worse and better, stuff like that. Yeah. Lex, wait, who are the refs for New York versus Boston? They're really bad. All of them favor Boston Celtics heavily. So the Knicks are going to be in trouble, even if they're playing in Madison Square Garden today. The referees for today in New York City tonight are Zach Zarba, Courtney Kirkland, and Justin Van Dyne. And all of them, very skewed. They are very, very favorable towards Boston and not nice to New York. In fact, if you want the straight numbers, I could tell you right here. Zach Zarba, as the crew chief tonight, in some ways, he has his second best record with teams in the NBA with Boston. San Antonio's number one. They win 63% of games under Zach Zarba, and Boston wins 59% of their games. Meanwhile, the Knicks are the second worst team for Zach Zarba. They win just under 400% of their games, and the Pelicans are the only team that are worse for Zach Zarba in this league. Everybody else has a better record in the league than the New York Knicks under Zach Zarba. So that doesn't tell you something right there. Second best record in the league, Boston. Second worst record in the league with Zach Zarba, New York. So New York fans not liking Zach Zarba is a very real thing because that man is actually a guy that y'all lose around a lot. Zach Zarba. Courtney Kirkland, it's a similar thing, guys. I'm telling you right now. Boston's his second favorite team statistically. San Antonio, 71%, number one team for them. Boston, second, 61% winning. And then New York is the third worst team for Courtney Kirkland, just below the Raptors, the fourth worst team. The Raptors are 41% winning with Courtney Kirkland, and the Knicks are 40% winning. So I'm telling you right now, there's a real stretch between the referees and how they feel about Boston and how they have reffed Boston in the past and New York. It's not a good crew for the Knicks tonight. I'm just going to say that. Celtics, second best team for Justin Van Dyne after Minnesota. Minnesota has the best record. Boston is second. Now, the Knicks are not as bad with Justin. Actually, they're the fourth worst team. So it's like Justin Van Dyne's record is 66% winning for the Celtics. And then the Knicks win 41%, the third worst team on his list. So every single rep, the second best record in the league is Boston for them. And one of the worst records is for New York and all of them. Yeah. This is not looking good for the refs for the Knicks in their first home game in this series. They're going to try and help the Celtics save some face tonight is what it looks like. The other side, Scott Foster favors the Timberwolves. And the other two refs, David Guthrie and Mitchell Irvin favor the Golden State Warriors. So that's the ref report. Once again, write it down. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching me today. Please like, comment, subscribe, share, join the channel if you want. You get access to our Discord server and our Facebook group. And I hope that you guys have a great Saturday afternoon. Get out there and touch grass, like Scotty would say. And we'll see you tomorrow morning on Mother's Day in the morning. Mother's Day, 9:30 a.m. I'll be back on the stream once again, as always. Let's go, JYD.